All right, so in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 key tips to making money with a small YouTube channel. So if you're just getting started, stay tuned. All right, a lot of people are interested in making some additional cash or side income or side hustle when it comes to their YouTube channel. It's pretty obvious. However, many people approach it the wrong way, or they think of it more like, hey, I just want to do this one thing. And that kind of doesn't allow you to propel or move forward. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you a couple of key tips. Now, one of the first big key tip here when it comes to really thinking about this, and that's to really look at your YouTube channel, not just a YouTube channel, but start looking at building a business and stop focusing on ads only. See, what a lot of people do is they kind of go in and they start saying, okay, well, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. So here is my YouTube channel, and I'm just going to go ahead and get ads or ad money from it. And that's kind of the most common approach. Yeah, let's just start a YouTube channel, man, and just go ahead and create some ads, and you'll just make a couple $1,000s a month, and that's some good side income. The problem is with a small YouTube channel, if you're getting, let's say, I don't know, 20 hits a view, or 20 views on a video, it really is very difficult to make that kind of money, especially also if you have kind of like a niche where maybe it pays really low cost per click, or CPM, cost per thousand, or really high CPM. So every industry is going to be a little bit different. So you have to take those things into account. So really, when you start looking at things more like a business rather than just on YouTube, now what you're doing is, okay, I'm going to take YouTube and I'm going to propel that forward into not just making money from ads, but also what about a product or a service? Now you start segmenting things into much more so diversification of income. What about now if we look at sponsorships? Okay, so this also is a little bit different than just advertisement. So for example, like this YouTube channel right now that I have, if you go into Backstage Income, we are sponsored by Pork Bun, which is a domain name service. And as you scroll down, they're also right here on our resources page as well, where you can grab kind of like a free domain name, depending on the extension and so forth. But there's a lot of great benefits to sponsorships because they help fuel the channel and make you some additional income. Even if your channel is small, you're able to get some sponsorships. But now you're starting to think more like a business. So this is kind of tip number 1, is start thinking more like a business rather than just, hey, I'm going to make some money from advertisements. Okay, let's look into the next tip, and this is tip number 2, and that's build relationships. See, what a lot of people do is they actually start focusing on the money side, right? So it's like money, 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 money. And that's kind of all they focus on. Instead, if you focus on relationships first, so if I've got a good relationship with somebody, and then later on, I go ahead and promote a product or service, now they're more likely to buy it. So if I'm just focusing on money and I had 1,000 people and I push a product or service, if the relationship's not there, you might get, let's say, 10 buyers. Okay, that may not sound like a lot, but let's say we've got 10 buyers. But if I've got this relationship and now I've got the same 1,000 people, and then if I've got that relationship, maybe there's 300 people that buy the product. So all of a sudden, if I focused on that relationship first, okay, rather than focusing on the sale first, you're able to go ahead and make a better conversion. And that means you make more money. So that's the end factor here, is that the relationships will help build that business and help build the sales much more so. Okay, let's look at the next tip, and that is to think about selling services. See, there's so many people that start out with looking at selling courses, and they want recurring income. So what they do is, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make a course, and then I will just go ahead and sell that course to my audience. And this will have me automate a lot of my income. So now I've got like an automation of income. This is kind of like recurring, or in other words, what they're looking for is passive income, right? That's kind of the key goal. The problem is when you go in and create a course, you have no clue if it's going to be a winner or really a flop. How do I know this? Well, I've done a handful of different courses. So if you take a look at backstageincome.com and you check out the courses that I have quite a handful of courses here. But really not only that, I have another a channel and actually a course page. Here's tradersfly.com, and you can see there's a ton of different courses here. And if you really look at all the courses I've done over the years, there's tons of them. Now, some of them I will tell you are flops, and some of them have done very well. So just check out all the different courses available. There's tons of them. So I know that they can do well, but you have to understand how to do them before you can really just say, hey, I'm going to make one. So sometimes my first course, I'll give you some insight here. The first course that I've made basically took me probably about 6 months to make, and I think I probably made about $250 ever on it, and I'm saying like ever. So it doesn't really always pan out. You almost have to have multiple courses to be able to see, hey, out of all the courses you make, you might have a couple that are successful and some that are flops. That's just the reality of it, and you have to understand the business model behind it. So don't just think about, hey, I want to do passive income. That's all great, but your business should be a combination of passive income and active income streams, because active is kind of direct. All right, so when you look at this, start looking at selling services. That's probably the fastest way to get income in your pocket, such as offering a service that you could do for somebody else, like coaching or one-on-one consultations if you're an expert on. Or even as an example here, you can take a look at some of the services that we offer on our resources page. You know, my team, we do some web development. Obviously, my team handles a lot of this video acorn. We have video editing services, podcast color for podcast editing, cover design, and ebook services. So those are the quickest way. It's really a direct path to kind of the sales. So let's say you have right here, one thing happening right here. Somebody comes in and then they go in and then boom, you've got yourself a sale. So that's probably the fastest way to make things happen, because a lot of people are looking for, hey, I want to make this one thing here and then I want to make passive income from it. And that all sounds great, but you got to build up those streams. Otherwise, when you go from here to here and then you just have a service, it's really just direct. Once that service is done, you're kind of good to go. Okay. So let's look at the next tip, and that is sell high and low end products or services. Don't just think about creating kind of a low end ticket items, because that's kind of what people are going to purchase. Instead, look at going in and saying, okay, well, if I've got 1,000 people, and those 1,000 people, maybe 100 of them buy my $5 ebook, okay, but now I might get 15 of them that buy my $300 product, okay, and then I get also another 3 of them that buy my let's say $997 something else. So I've got 3 different products here to spread kind of the gap or distance. Now, what you'll find is sometimes you might have some issues with this, where some people buy your $5 ebook, but they don't buy your $300 product. So that means that jump is pretty big. So what you'll want to do is go in and create kind of like a bridge product that, you know, gets people to go in from one product to the next. And that's kind of what you can do in that area, is just create like a little bridge to go from one to the other. But ultimately, you want to be able to have high-end and low-end products. The low-end ones, people will visit or act on much more so than the high-end ones. But the high-end ones might drive quite a bit of revenue. You might only need to sell one high-end product compared to like 50 other low-end products. And that's kind of a really great benefit or bonus. Okay, and a last bit of advice is to diversify your business and income streams. So if we're really looking into what you should be doing, is that don't have all your money coming in from a single spot. So you've got this one spot. You know, they talk about in investment that we discuss, we don't put all our money into just one investment. We're looking at splitting up different investments all over the place, okay? And that's what you want to do. It's kind of like thinking about this like a table. So if you have kind of a table with legs, it's the same thing. You want to have multiple legs for your table. And if you have even more legs, that's even better. So your table's more secure and you have much better of a foundation. If you think about this more like a maybe a building structure as well, the foundation is kind of key. So if we look at it more like a Parthenon, you know, and you have all these different pillars that kind of help out, that's what you're looking for. And then what you have here is kind of this building, right? So the more pillars that you have, the more solid and foundation, that structure and support for your overall income, because that's what you're looking to do, is support your income. So if you only have kind of one, that's great, but it's not, you know, it's not as ideal. If you have more than one, as you start getting into 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and so on, that starts to become a lot better. So anyways, I hope that helps, and a few of these tips kind of get you some starting points to really just growing and building up your small business out there and looking to ramp it up. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to check out some freebies that we have on our website by clicking the link right over here or in the description below. I'll see you in the next video.